Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warplanes. And this time, we'll be taking a look at the other reward plane for Operation Westwall, the Tier 8 American light fighter, the XF15C. So, as you guys may know, you get this plane if you complete every single one of these missions. There's 15 different missions over the course of 6 weeks. 4 weeks are over. We have 2 weekends left. And yes, they wanted to test out a couple new modes, and so we have the invasion and attrition mode they have to play through. I don't want to go over that right now, but if you want to know more, I have a video up detailing every single one of these missions, so you can see exactly what you need to do in order to get the planes. But I went through and did these. If there's a mission you can't do with distinction, because you have to get distinction on all missions in order to get it. But if you can't do it, you can pay them money to get certificates, and you can do it that way. So, that's kind of expensive if you do it that way. I suggest trying to save yourself as much money as possible. But with that out of the way, let's get into how this plane performs and stuff. Well, as I said already, it's a Tier 8 American fighter, so that's kind of cool. I don't actually really own many American planes. As you can see, I'm at Tier 7 for Japan, Tier 7 for UK, Tier 9 for Germany, and I haven't done anything for USSR or USA. So I don't know, I'm not super familiar with how, like the Mustang line performs or anything. I kind of have an idea. I mean, they don't have any cannons, but so I can't tell you how it compares from a personal standpoint on how it compares to the Mustang, but I'll put up the statistics at the end so you guys can look at it if you so desireth. But let's take a look at what Wargaming says about this plane first. I think that's important. It says that it has autocannon armament effective at medium range. So it actually doesn't have really machine guns, but it doesn't have cannons either. It's just kind of in between. It's got 420s, which isn't bad. I mean, at least it's not the 50 cals that you get on some other Tier 8 plane. I think like the XF15 or maybe the Mustang as well. So that's nice. 420s, I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad either. It's just kind of eh. It's pretty decent. I mean, there's, like XF15 only has 2 guns, and you have twice as much, so it's not terrible. You just have to remember that these guns are mounted in the wings. They are not mounted very far out on the wings. They're very close, but they are on the wings nonetheless. And because of that, I personally find that they're a little inaccurate, so you want to be careful of that. We don't have to go through the upgrades because, there's no upgrades. It's a premium plane. But let's look at the next stat. Good survivability, but large dimensions and vulnerable engine. Yes, this plane is massive. It is huge. TA-152 for comparison. Tiny, puny, little teeny tiny. And the wingspan is really big, but compared to the XF15C, it doesn't even look big. I don't know. This thing's huge. It's like looking at the TOG 2 next to a T1 Cunningham. If you guys play World of Tanks, you'll know what that is. But anyway, next detail. Oh yeah, good survivability, large dimensions, of vulnerable engine makes you a sitting duck for some planes. You're not very maneuverable either, so that's an issue. High airspeed, long-lasting boost. I don't remember exactly how many seconds boost this has, but it's pretty good. It's got a very nice engine. You can see it if you want. 4,600 horsepower. I'll expand these as well if you want to see those stats. Now, good maneuverability in horizontal turns. I beg to differ. I don't think it has good maneuverability in horizontal turns. This thing is massive, and because of it, it plays more like a heavy fighter than a light fighter. So compared to other light fighters of this tier, I strongly disagree with that statement. This thing is not maneuverable at all. You will be playing the boom and zoom tactic. So yes. And the last one, very effective at intercepting aircraft at high altitude. Yes, that is true. This thing has amazing altitude performance. 7,200, I mean, it's not exceptional, I'd say, but it's definitely not bad. That is very good. That is very good. I mean, the TA-152, which is also pretty good in altitude performance, has 8,200 feet. So it is less. It's not like outstanding, but it is definitely above average. That's what I would say. One thing also to note, this plane has both a propeller and a rocket engine, which gives it dual propulsion, and that's actually kind of cool. I like that concept. I lost the stats. But yeah, that's about it with the plane. It's fast, good altitude performance, turns like a boat, and hits like a truck, but a weak truck, like a small truck, not a big old pickup truck or a semi, just a little truck. That's a good analogy. Little truck, not big truck. And yes, dual propulsion gives it nice airspeed. It really does. You have pretty decent boost, but you don't have as much firepower as I'd prefer. I do feel it's a little bit on the weak side for firepower, but at the same time, it's better than some planes. I mean, if you compare it to the XF15. I would assume this plane plays very similarly to the P51H, I think it is, the Tier 8 one. Tier 8 Mustang, I think it compares very well to that. One other passing mention, this is a premium plane, and therefore you get increased credit and experience per battle. So if you go to your crew, you check the Accelerate Crew Training button, and you will be making lots of experience for your pilot every battle. Also, I have a paint scheme. This is the paint scheme that you can get if you complete all the missions. If you get mission 15, this is the paint scheme you will receive, which is kind of nice. You cannot put your beta sticker on there, but they give you a random nose art thing, so sure, why not? Throw it on there, slap it on there. And yes, let's go and take a look at the service real quick. Because you're making so much credits per battle, it's outrageous. You make a lot of credits per battle. I highly recommend just using universal ammo. It is a little bit more pricey than the Dornier 335. It's about 25,000, give or take, for a belt of universal ammo, whereas the Dornier, it's about 15,000. So keep that in mind. You are spending about 10,000 credits per battle more on ammunition than in the Dornier, which does hinder its credit making potential just that little bit. So that's just a thing that you should keep in mind. Personally, I go with first aid package, pneumatic restarter, and control surface adjustment. And the reason I do those consumables is because I'm willing to sacrifice some of my hit points from being set on fire, but I do not want to lose my accuracy in firing my guns, because killing planes is how you stay alive. So not being able to do that is an issue for me. When your engine gets destroyed, it's a huge problem. So I want to have a pneumatic restarter, because otherwise I go insane. And control surface adjustment, I guess if you're going to put a fire extinguisher on anything, you'd want to put it on that, because you're kind of a boom and zoomer anyway, so you're not going to be maneuvering. You can just use your airspeed to get away. So you're not like dependent on that maneuverability to save you. And because of that, If you're going to put fire extinguisher on, I would replace it with the control surface adjustment instead of the other two. My personal preference, you guys are allowed to have yours. Whatever works for you, you know, find what you enjoy the most. But that's my recommendations. And finally, the upgrades. I go for gyroscopic gun sight because as I mentioned earlier, I feel like those 20s are not super accurate, and because of that, you're going to want gyroscopic gun sight, which increases your accuracy by 10%. Second, lightweight airframe increases your maneuverability because your maneuverability sucks, and trying to reduce that disadvantage as much as possible is kind of nice. And then it was kind of a toss-up on the last one, but I went with the improved covering 3 because you have pretty decent survivability for a light fighter. So adding 5% HP is not bad. But the main reason I did it was because you get a 20% reduction to critical, or you have a 20% increased resistance to critical damage, like for your wings and tail and stuff. So that's nice. That's quite nice. And yes, the crew is the last one. As I said earlier, I think marksman 1 and 2 are a priority. After that, because I'm not running the 2 maneuverability adjustment modules, I don't think the aerodynamics expert is that worth it because you're only going to have an advantage with one of your equipment modules. So I think I would recommend going after the marksman 1 and 2 for Engine Guru 1, Engine Guru 2, or alternatively, you could go with, let's see, Aerobatics Expert maybe. You get 2% maneuverability in all turns. And that's not bad. Yeah, that's kind of it. I also kind of like the, what one is it? Resilience. I like this one because when you're down to 30% HP left, it'll repair all your critical damage, and that's nice. And it also reduces your engine overheating by 50% and your weapon overheating by 50%, which is nice. It also increases your maneuverability and your engine thrust by 5%. So it is a rather powerful boost if you lose 70% of your hit points. So that's not a bad one to have either. And I don't know, it really just depends. This one increases your accuracy after destroying an enemy aircraft. That's nice. You know, just choose what you think is best. But I went with marksman 1 and 2 as my first ones, but these ones are nice ones too. So, and with that, I believe I have covered everything about this plane. I feel like the weapons overheat at a reasonable speed. It's not too fast. It's not too slow, I guess. It's just, they're decent. That's kind of how I feel about this plane. It's decent. It doesn't blow me out of the water. And I haven't been as impressed with it as I was the Dornier 335, but I mean it does the job, but it's definitely not a maneuvering plane and is a big target, so you really do have to keep those in mind when you're playing this plane. With that, let's go to the replay. Unfortunately, I only have one replay this time, but it's a good replay, and I want to get a review out quickly, and my internet sucks, and so if I make this video too long, it's going to take forever for it to upload. So on to the replay. Alright guys, welcome back to the replay. I believe this one is attrition, so it's the special game mode that comes along with this plane. This is one of the first battles I played in it. I wanted to test it out after I got it. I actually played it for a little while the first night I got it. Didn't really have any exceptional games, but this was the first game of the second day that I had it. So I wasn't very warmed up. You're going to see that in my playing. I feel like this battle could have been a monster game. It really could have been one heck of a battle. But I screwed up, and I wasn't playing to the best of my ability. I just want to put it that way. I feel like if I was a little bit more focused, or I'd played a few games to start off, then I'd do a little bit better. But with that being said, we have 5 objectives. I want to take the garrison to free up the bots that come here, and that way they get up to the front lines. Also, the garrison is the furthest away from the enemy lines, and so it will take them the longest and the hardest to take it from us. So it's kind of like a guaranteed continuous amount of points. Well, actually, it's not points in attrition, but it's good to have a sector. Yes, because attrition, you're all focusing on kills. Sectors only amplify the multiplier for each kill. And one team wins when they drain all the resources of the enemy team. So as you see at the top, you have each team has 80 points to start, and then each sector that you get gives you a multiplier for how much each kill is worth. With that being said, we took the garrison. The enemy team took their garrison. So now we're just fighting over the middle 3 sectors. I'm going into the center because, well, they're not factories down there, but they're strongholds, which are a little bit stronger than factories, in my opinion. So don't go over them. You will die if you're in a light fighter. Just because of the AA. The only way you'd survive is if you're shooting down GA. I guess you can influence it that way. But there's no air defense planes over there. That's what I'm trying to get at. So because there's no air defense planes over there, it means that you can't put influence on it. You don't have bombs, you don't have rockets, and yeah, the only way you can give influence is if you become a GA, which I don't recommend in this plane. Don't ever try shooting ground targets unless you have to. And the other way is to shoot down planes. So I got someone on my tail, which is not good. I can't really get away from him, so he's probably going to kill me. But let's see if we can do something before he kills me. There's a Yak 3. Yeah. Okay, I died. Yep, Spitfire got me. Alright, well, now we have a 30-second respawn, so I kind of wish that the respawn timer was more similar to Conquest. I think this respawn timer is dumb. It doesn't really make sense because sometimes it'll be your first death and you have a 30-second respawn, but if you die like 3 or 4 times, you might have like a 2-second respawn. It's all random. It seems kind of wonky to me, but enough said. We're back in the battle. Let's go back to the center because, well, I'm going to fight for that center. I am going to not feed the buffet. I'm going to take the buffet. It's my buffet. My buffet of experience and credits. So let's take this with authority. Spitfire 9 took me out last time, so I want to shut him down so I don't have to deal with him. I mean, I will again later, but for now, at least he's out of the battle. Won't have to worry about him coming up on my tail. Coming up on the 109G. Oh, now the Spitfire wants to headhunt. Okay, I guess we're going to headhunt each other. I wasn't exactly headhunting him, but he is like the only human on the enemy team. And he shot me down last time, so I needed to come in and take him out. He's already got a very respectable score as well. If I left him alone, then we'd have no hope. I have to attack him. I'm not going to go to the sector that he's at just to shoot him down. But this is the sector I would have been at anyway, and he just happened to be there. And so I will gladly shoot you down, Spitfire. I wasn't intentionally headhunting you. We were just at the sector I was at. Well, we took the garrison now, but there's still a lot of red, and I don't want our bots to die too much, and so I have to shut them down. And that's another thing about attrition mode. I feel like if you don't go where the mobs are at, then you are hurting your team. You're doing nothing but hurting your team. And why do I say that? Well, it's because if the enemy team just shoots down your bots, and they just like get a pattern going where they shoot down your bots will die, they will respawn, and they will just trundle their way right back into the center. And because this mode is all about getting kills, Having your bots die over and over again is not a good thing. You want to make sure you don't have your bots die over and over again. So that's why taking the center right now and feeding the buffet, as Zem calls it, is very important right now. They took the garrison again, which sucks, but we'll see what we can do. We'll flip around. Need to take out that Spitfire again. He's going to hate me for headhunting, but it has to be done. If I leave him alone, he will ruin our team. No problem. I do a little bit of damage. Can't quite get him. He starts playing the old bot trick and starts zipping around. I'm at 1 hit point. Yep, I'm down. But that's okay. That is okay. We will respawn. And this time we have a 16-second respawn timer. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't understand that respawn timer. I think attrition is a good start, but it needs a little bit of work. But enough flabbering. We're back in the battle. And at this point, I was going to shoot down that heavy, but he was almost dead, so it wasn't worth my time. He died, which is fine. So now we're going back into the center. Our team is losing, so that's a problem. We really do need to step it up, and it would be amazing if our team actually took a couple sectors, but alas, they are not, and therefore, well, whatever. And I can't really take the sectors. I want to make sure I take this sector from them. I'm just worried about getting kills. I don't really care if we win or lose at this point. Alright, I figure we're going to lose anyway, because our bots are really not doing their job. But it's okay. If you do get a lot of kills, and you know, as long as you get your own good personal score, then it doesn't really matter if you win or lose. And that's why I kind of like this game. Like, even if I get a really good battle and it's a loss, I don't really care, because it's, you know, it's still good fun. But as you can see, the guns overheat. I mean, it's not bad. They don't overheat quickly, that's for sure. But they don't like last forever either. So, kind of playing the boom and zoom. I had someone on my tail, so I just kind of went vertical a little bit, just enough to get the flip and make him lose airspeed. Don't quite kill him, but maybe I set him on fire. We'll see. No, I did not. So he's just gonna survive. Yeah. Coming down. See if we can take down this 109G as well. The guns do work if you line it up right, but because they have a shorter range than the Dornier 335, they just feel a little bit weaker. They really do. There's a Spitfire again, so as much as I hate headhunting, he's got to die. So otherwise he's just going to get right on my tail. Although, that being said, I just completely missed him, so that's cool. That guy's dead. We're at 12,000 personal points. Not bad. P-47N. Shut him down. And I think we'll flip back around. Maybe? Yep, here we go. So as you can see, I wasn't really maneuvering. I haven't really been maneuvering with any of the planes. I stay on them and as long as I can, but then I just use my boost and get out of there. And then once I'm adequately far away from the planes, enough to give me enough room to turn around, I turn around and start heading back in. That's, as you can see here, I stopped trying to maneuver with him. I'm just pulling out and I flip back around. I wouldn't necessarily call it boom and zoom, right? Because when I think boom and zoom, I think like you have a lot of altitude and you come down on a dive and find someone, pick them out, and shut them down. But that's not really what I've been doing. It's kind of more horizontal stuff. But that's kind of what you want to do. You want to do boom and zoom, but not from like using your energy from altitude and down. I think the horizontal boom and zoom is is better. The enemy Spitfire is really starting to hate me. I feel bad for shutting him down so many times, and he's too slow to really keep up with this plane. But I've been using that to my advantage. I just keep shooting him down using my airspeed, and he really can't do anything about it. But, you know, if I left him alone, this battle would be over too quickly. I mean, he shut me down 2 times, I shut him down 2 or 3 times, and because of that, because we're both good players, we're able to play off of each other. And I love these kind of battles. Even if I lose, we've been playing off each other back and forth through the whole battle, and so it prevents me from dominating the enemy team, but I don't get wiped out quickly either. And it allows you to rack up a nice score because you're constantly getting kills. And also, one other thing that's working very highly to our advantage in this battle is that neither team really took the strongholds until late in the game, and because of that, each kill was giving us less points, and therefore the battle lasted longer, and that's nice too. I appreciate that. Those are fun battles. So sometimes I don't want to take a sector. I'm just like, well, if the enemy team's not going to take it either, sure. Well, I just, you know, farm up a nice combo. As you can see, I'm using my airspeed and my altitude advantage to try to get away. I don't know what's on my tail, but I think they're going to keep up with me. Nope, they broke off. Awesome. And now we get to shut down the yak because he's just stalling, and easy kill. So as you can see, that's more of the traditional boom and zoom. You make them stall because you have better altitude advantage and airspeed, so you make them stall trying to chase you, and you flip around and they're sitting ducks. That's traditional boom and zoom. What we were doing earlier was modified hybrid boom and zoom. So yes, I prefer the modified boom and zoom. It's more fun, and it's more reliable in my opinion if you have good airspeed. I have some planes on my tail. I don't think I'm going to be escaping this. I'll probably die. And yes, I died. They got 2 points for my kill. And yes, they beat us. Unfortunately, that was a defeat, but it was a good defeat, and it was a fun defeat. Sure, it might be a little bit heartbreaking, right? It was a defeat, but this one I enjoyed. It was fun, and I don't really care. Now, you're going to see I end the replay too early, so we're not going to really be able to see the statistics. Because I'm an idiot, I turned off the recording software. But I did record a little bit more afterward in a separate file, so I'm going to play that at the end of the battle, so you can look at the statistics for yourself if you desire. But I just won't be able to talk over and explain the results. But just when you're looking at the end of the results, check the amount of experience I made, the amount of credits I made for a 20,000 combat point game. And yes, this was the only replay for today, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. And do I recommend the XF15C? I mean, you're not really missing much if you don't get it. I feel like there's other planes out there for you. I can't think of any. The 109 TL, that's a boom and zoom as well. I can't really think of Tier 8 premiums off the top of my head. I don't know if there is another Tier 8 premium American fighter, but this one is just kind of alright. The guns do their work. It's got decent airspeed. It doesn't have good maneuverability, and I think just a lot of those factors kind of lead to an plane. It's just kind of average. Like, there's nothing about it that wows me and makes me want to play it over other planes. But if you want, a good credit maker, first of all, if you're thinking about either the DO335 or this plane, get the Dornier. Just get the Dornier 335. It's better. But this plane's alright. It gets the job done. Just not elegantly, like the Dornier. It's not as versatile as the Dornier. And I think that's one of its major downfalls. But I need to stop talking. I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions about this plane, or want me to clarify anything, please leave a comment down in the section below, and I will respond or at least look at it and help you guys out in any way that I can. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will catch you next time.